Hello, and welcome back to Boulder Bookstore. My name is Olivia Edmonds-Diaz, and I am the Education Services Manager here at the store. Today, I'm really excited to share some great books for kids and teens and adults of all ages. So first up, we have a new release. This is Running by Natalia Sylvester. This book is a teen YA read, and we follow Mari, whose dad is running for president. And this is a Cuban family living in the United States. And throughout the presidential campaign, as Mari supports her father, she starts to learn that she actually doesn't agree with a lot of her dad's politics. And there's kids at her high school who are starting to protest because they also don't agree with what her dad's campaign values. And Mari has to figure out how to honor her family and support her family, but at the same time, stand up for what she believes in. And Mari grows up so much over this process. The little tagline here is Mari's dad is running, Mari is rising. Highly recommend this book. That's new today. Next, we have an early reader chapter book. This is the newest installment in the Unicorn Rescue Society. This particular one is the Madre de Kuba. So in this one, the Unicorn Rescue Society has to work together to track down a legendary sea serpent. And there's some evil kind of henchmen contaminating the water. They're trying to track down this serpent. They have to band together. Are they going to be eaten by the serpent? Are they going to save the day? Who can tell? You will, of course, after you read this book. These are really, really fun. It's a great adventure series, good for all ages, boys and girls, but it's really fun. Definitely recommend this one. And next, we have a middle reader book. This is by Ernesto Cisneros. This one is called Effin Divided. So this is a lovely and timely story about a family, and Effin's grandmother and other members of his family are undocumented, which with his family is very nerve-wracking, right? On a daily basis, they're a little bit nervous. They're not sure what might happen if something goes wrong, what to do next. And one day, Effin comes home from school and his grandmother is gone because she was taken up by ice. So the family has to come together. There's a lovely line here that Effin Divided is a story about family, friendship, and tearing down the walls being built between us all. So this is a really great story, good for all kinds of people, but it's also a great way to start talking with your kids about undocumented immigrants in the United States. Another gorgeous story that I don't think is getting enough great attention is from Newbery Honor-winning Pam Munoz-Ryan. This is Mañana Land. This is just stunning from start to finish. We follow a family and a young boy who lives with his father and grandfather who tell stories about this sort of mythical road and this mythical journey. And at the end, you meet a woman and she helps you and takes you where you need to be. And our main character, whose name is Maximiliano, finds out one day that it's not a myth. These stories that his grandfather has been telling him, they're all true because his grandfather and father are part of a long line of people who help undocumented immigrants get to the next safe place. And Maximiliano grows up very quickly because he wants to be like his family and do the right thing, even when that's really, really hard and scary. And he ends up helping a young girl trying to get to safety, trying to get to that next safe place. So again, beautiful story from start to finish. It's another really lovely way of looking at immigration, especially undocumented immigration in the United States, and understanding their plight. Another great teen book I recommend is Clap When You Land. This is the newest book from Elizabeth Acevedo. And this book's actually based on a true story of a plane crash that occurred shortly after 9/11. And no one knew what was going on, if it was part of the terrorist attacks or something else entirely. It was unrelated. It was just a tragic malfunction of the plane. However, the plane was going from the United States to the Dominican Republic. And in this story, Acevedo kind of reimagines that plane crash, and that there was a man on the plane going from the US to the Dominican Republic because he has one family, a wife and daughter in the United States, and he has another family in the Dominican Republic, another wife and daughter. And it's only after the plane crash that the two families find out that the other exists. And this book, it's entirely written in verse. It's absolutely lovely. It's gorgeously written. And we alternate between the two daughters who are in very different lives, very different upbringings, have very different opinions of their father, and suddenly have to, in their teen years, reconcile with the fact that their father isn't who they thought he was, and they have a sister who looks remarkably like the other person. So this is a really, it's a great story, really engaging, kind of a very different, creative family situation. And it's a great way to look at how we can be different, but we can also be the same. And sometimes families have secrets. All right, last but not least, this is a great new picture book out. This is Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. And if you're wondering about the name Kamala up there, this is written by Kamala Harris's niece. So this is a really beautiful picture book. Kamala and Maya are working together because they want a playground in their apartment complex. And so they work with the landlord, and the landlord doesn't want anything to do with it. And so they have to figure out, how do we turn a no into a yes? And so they work together, they get the community involved, they write letters. So this is a really vibrant, happy way of looking at how everyday people can enact change in their community, how we can come together and make something beautiful. So it's a really hopeful, engaging, great little story. All right, that is it for me today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.